I spend a lot of time underneath this car. Good afternoon, welcome back. This afternoon I'm going to do a compression test on the MGT F135. This is the one with the blown head gasket. This will give me an idea if there's likely to be any other problems with it, or give me a little bit of confidence that I can just change the head gasket, put it back together, and all will be good. You can hear the car is warming up in the background. Then I'll just rerun the readings, and then I can decide what to do next. Now that I have a nice warm engine, the core packs are removed and the spark plugs are removed, I can rerun the compression tests. We're starting on cylinder number 1, the cylinder closest to the cam belt. We have a reading of approximately 195 psi. Cylinder number 2 is giving us a reading of around about 170 psi. Cylinder number 3 also has a reading of very slightly over 170 psi. Cylinder number 4 also has a reading of slightly over 190 psi. Very useful exercise to repeat, done properly with the engine warmed up. The car's now up on ramps and I've drained the coolant, so time to start dismantling engine ancillaries. The coolant tank's held in by two 10mm bolts. The hose under the tank has got a Jubilee clip with a 6mm bolt on it. I don't think this is original, to be honest. I'm pretty sure this is one that I put on, so the chances are that other cars will be different. Two structural braces with the shorter one going to the right hand side. Next I remove the oil filler and dipstick tube. This is the map sensor electrical connection, and there are a few vacuum pipes to remove. Next job is to remove the airbox. And now the coolant pipes. The exhaust manifold shield is held on with two 10mm bolts and one 13mm nut. I've removed the exhaust manifold heat shield, and from this angle we get a pretty decent view of those pipes now. A single bolt holds the camshaft position sensor in place. This is the connector to the idle air control valve. That's for the throttle position sensor. This hose that I released from here earlier runs across here. It's actually clipped up under here, comes across. This goes to the coolant expansion tank and down to the inlet manifold. That hose is going to be a bit of a fight to take off, so for the time being it can stay where it is, and I'll worry about it later when I've got better access to it. Here I'm removing the throttle cable from the throttle body. And now the top part of the inlet manifold comes off. So we have 5 10mm bolts to undo here. Hoping we haven't got any hidden ones, because they could be awkward. There's not much on this car that isn't mildly awkward to get to, simply because of the location of the engine. Once it's loose, it's easy to remove from the engine bay. That's the brake servo vacuum pipe, just needs a little bit of persuasion to come out. Interesting to note that this gasket is quite well churned up. It's obviously possible that it happened when I took the manifold apart, or possibly it was like it previously. The quick release fuel hoses are removed. And this big connector is for the injectors and sensors around the inlet manifold. Now I've got pretty good access to remove the bottom half of the manifold. Nearly there, getting the inlet manifold off. Just going to have a look with the mirror. I know there's one bolt underneath, going to see if there's anything else. There we go, we can see one. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I spend a lot of time underneath this car. Judging by the colour of that sky, I might not be out here for too much longer. A few drops of rain now, so I think I'm going to have to call it quits. It's getting a little bit blustery and definitely getting dark. Rain stopped play yesterday evening, so first job of the afternoon is to finish removing the inlet manifold. I think there's simply 4 more bolts to take out. I say simply, but I think they're all going to be really awkward, really difficult to get to. So yeah, let's go make a start. Okay, that turned out to be a bit awkward, a little bit fiddly, but not too bad overall. Hopefully when I put it back together, I might find I can actually bolt it onto the head before putting the head back in the engine bay. So I always find it amusing what a mess engine bays are. You know, look at the state of this. Pipes and wires everywhere, things are really difficult to get to. What a mess. I seem to have been quite lucky with this, on the basis that it's actually not leaked, not split any further, and not caused a failure. Can't imagine this coming out of the factory like this somehow. Looks like a slightly smaller diameter pipe than is actually required has been cut back in order to make it fit over the metal pipe there. So very clever. Round here, looks like it's been almost double on itself. I guess water must be flowing through there, but I should imagine it's restricted flow. So yeah, all in all, that is most definitely a bit Mickey Mouse. That's everything that needs to come off on the inlet side, so it's now time to remove the exhaust downpipe and the exhaust manifold.